Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the ticking clock of the IELTS reading test, I want you to shift your mindset right now. Seriously, today we are going to treat this test exactly like a game that you can absolutely win. And, well, everyone in games starts with a solid playbook, right? So we're kicking things off with your absolute easiest target on the board, Passage 1. What you're looking at here is your ultimate cheat sheet. Today, we're breaking down this comprehensive playbook piece by piece to give you a completely foolproof, structured strategy. Honestly, our goal isn't just to help you get the right answers, it's to help you maximize your score while saving some seriously precious time. By the end of this explainer, you're going to know exactly how to execute these foundational techniques without any of that annoying second guessing. So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, the easy win advantage. Then, orientation and skimming tactics. After that, locating and scanning secrets, followed by beating paraphrasing and traps, and finally, the final attack order. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the easy win advantage, Passage 1 versus Passage 3. Now, to truly respect Passage 1, we really need to compare it directly to the final boss of the reading test, which is Passage 3. And wow, the differences are striking. Passage 1 is unequivocally your easy win. I mean, it features B2 general vocabulary and only moderate paraphrasing. But in stark contrast, Passage 3, it hits you with C1 to C2 academic language and really heavy complex paraphrasing. So why does this matter? Well, because we have to move fast right out of the gate. Passage 1 is literally your opportunity to buy back time. You need to blast through this easy section in just 17 to 18 minutes, so you have a full 20 minutes or even more saved up for the brutal difficulty of Passage 3. The time you bank here is basically your safety net for later. Moving right along to Section 2, orientation and skimming tactics, specifically your first 60 seconds. Okay, so the timer just started. Now, your very first instinct is probably going to be to just start reading the first paragraph. Stop. Don't do it. Before reading any actual text, simply read the title and any subheadings. Use them to predict the content. Passage 1 is usually highly descriptive. It might be about the history of the bicycle, or maybe a biography of a scientist. By predicting the topic up front, you immediately activate your brain's prior knowledge, which gives you this instant mental framework to understand what's coming next. After looking at that title, you have exactly 60 seconds to skim the text. Yes, literally just 1 minute. Remember, you are not reading for pleasure here, you're just surveying the battlefield. Because Passage 1 is shorter and structurally way simpler, your skimming needs to be lightning fast. You really just need to focus on this highly specific list. Read the first and last sentence of each paragraph, because those usually hold the main ideas. Then just let your eyes dart to any bold text, italics, or numbers. Completely ignore the dense details in the middle of the paragraphs. Your only goal in these 60 seconds is to understand the general layout and kind of map out where all the information lives. All right, Section 3, locating and scanning secrets, also known as the hunt. So now that you've got this mental map and you know the general layout, it is time to hunt. Our core philosophy for this section is super simple. Locate, don't memorize. This is the golden rule of IELTS reading. You honestly do not need to remember a single fact about the passage once the test is over. You're a detective looking for clues, right? Not a student studying for a history exam. You just need to know where each topic lives so you can quickly jump back to the right section the moment a question actually asks about it. So how exactly do we locate these clues? Well, when you look at a question, pick out the highly visual keywords. Scan the text specifically for exact matches. Things like names, dates, numbers, capitalized words, and proper nouns. These elements literally stand out physically from all the lowercase letters around them. They act as these really strong visual anchors. When you spot that date or that name mentioned in the question, your eyes stop, and you read that specific sentence carefully. Now, I want to share an incredible structural secret about Passage 1. The test makers are actually giving you a massive helping hand here, believe it or not. Passage 1 follows a clear logical flow, where the answers to the questions almost always appear linearly, meaning they show up in the exact same order as the questions themselves in the text. So, the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that you can use question 1 to anchor your starting point. Once you find the answer to question 1, you know for an absolute fact that the answer to question 2 is going to be somewhere below it. You don't have to endlessly flip back and forth, losing your place and driving yourself crazy. You can confidently and systematically move forward through the passage in a straight line. Let's look at Section 4, beating paraphrasing and traps, or navigating the minefields. Finding the right paragraph using those visual anchors is awesome, but we aren't done yet. Your first real minefield is paraphrasing. Passage 1 uses moderate paraphrasing. As we already established, it's definitely easier than passage 3. But make no mistake, it is still very much present. The question will rarely use the exact same vocabulary as the text itself. If the text says a project was extensive, the question might ask if it was large. Or if the text demonstrates a theory, the question might say it shows it. This just means you've got to focus on matching the underlying meaning rather than blindly looking for the exact same words. And consider yourself warned. Even easy passages have traps specifically designed to catch lazy readers. You're often going to find answers that look perfectly right initially, simply because they use familiar words right out of the paragraph. But upon closer inspection, they twist the context entirely or use the wrong detail. This is exactly why you absolutely must always verify the full meaning in the text. Read the whole sentence, understand the context, and never, ever guess based on just a single word match. And then, of course, there's the most infamous trap of all, the dreaded not given option in the true, false, not given questions. Man, students hate this one. But just remember the simple definition. Not given simply means the general topic is mentioned, but the exact specific claim made in the question is nowhere to be found. Whatever you do, don't use your outside knowledge here. If the text doesn't explicitly confirm it or explicitly deny it, it's not given. Just don't overthink it. Finally, Section 5, the final attack order, synthesizing the strategy. We've covered all the individual tactics, so let's synthesize everything. I want you to lock this number into your mind right now, 17 to 18. This is your golden number. You have a strict budget of exactly 17 to 18 minutes total to complete Passage 1. Remember our comparison at the beginning? You literally must finish this easy section early to save those crucial minutes for the much harder passages waiting for you later. Discipline here is absolutely everything. Let's quickly break that 18-minute budget down into actionable chunks. You're going to spend your first 60 seconds skimming the passage to build that mental map. Then, spend about 30 seconds reading a block of questions to identify your visual anchors. This leaves you with roughly 50 seconds to hunt down and answer each individual question. And, critically, please do not forget this, always, always leave yourself 2 full minutes at the end of the passage to carefully transfer your answers over to the answer sheet. So, here is how this all builds into the ultimate sequence. This is the 5-step attack order you really need to drill into your head for test A. Step 1, read the title to predict. Step 2, skim for 60 seconds to map it out. Step 3, read the questions to find your anchors. Step 4, scan linearly and answer, making sure to match meaning to avoid traps. And Step 5, check and transfer your answers. Memorize this flow and execute it like a machine. You now have the complete tactical playbook to easily and efficiently conquer the first third of the IELTS reading test. By following these structured steps, you're going to bank maximum points and, just as importantly, essential time. But the real question remains, you've secured the easy win. But how exactly are you going to adjust your strategy when the heavy academic vocabulary and brutal paraphrasing of Passage 3 finally hit you? Think about that, review these strategies, and keep learning. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.